Welcome back, family, collective soul tribe. Associate yourself however you like. Thank you for your likes, shares, and your subscribes. I am truly grateful for each and every one of you. I call upon the divine, my ancestors, angels, protectors, and spiritual guides to stand with me and within me as I channel through these messages. Only what serves truth, healing, and inner standing for the highest good is welcomed here. And so it is. Ashe. Okay, family. I hope you've been well, y'all. I hope you've been well. Um, New Year's Eve is here, okay? I do enter and understand that some of y'all don't feel that, it is the end of December, but for those of you who do just, happy, it is that New Year's Eve to you, okay? We're just gonna get some messages out here. I have been doing a lot of channeling, but I think it's more personal than for y'all. Okay, so only take it how it resonates. Thank you for being here, though. I am truly grateful. Let's see what it is that the divine needs and wants you to know. What are the messages today, divine? What are the messages? Oh, look. Okay, listen, family. That's funny, okay? Because I was just sitting kind of quiet, and on the TV, Amazon puts up those screensavers, right? And I happened to look up and I saw 303, I saw 311, and it was, yeah, this self-love energy is really here, okay? Something about you needing to have trust, something about you needing to feel secure or know that there could be security in you trusting and knowing, okay? Something, wow, trust, security in your home. Wow, okay. So whew, this is kind of deep, okay? This message right here is kind of deep because I really feel that. Okay, family, I really do. Safe love here, okay? Trust, security in your home. So, if you've been feeling like home wasn't home to you, I feel like this is a personal message, okay? For some of you, I took it personal right there. When I just told you I hadn't channeled anything, but I was just sitting and thinking, I'm for real with that. I am for real with that, family. So something about this safe love, and I feel like, a lot of people, family, when you go other places and stuff like that, and only take it how it resonates. It may not resonate with you, but a lot of times, you go places and, just home wasn't home, right? It didn't matter where you were, maybe home wasn't home. But this, I feel like, is a direct message for many of you, for you to trust and feel secure because you're home. Okay, I really love that energy too. It is uplifting as well. It is uplifted as well. Okay, for some of you, for many of you, take it how it resonates. But that is a very uplifting message, especially during these times. The low vibrational energy is real, family. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like for some of you who are experiencing that, when you pull yourself up out of that low vibrational environment, that's what I keep hearing. It's a lot of environments that are very low vibrational. Man, okay. I just want you to just ponder on this energy right here. Safe love. There could be somebody in your life that is safe to love, okay? Trust, just trust. And I know right now, hold on, and because I'm not even gonna fake with you, I can't be the one to sit up here and lie talking about, yeah, I know everything's gonna be okay. Oh, please, not right now, not with the energies that I be feeling, right? So I feel like, the divine is coming straight to you, to whomever you are. Many of you may need to hear this. You are at home. You're home, okay? There is some safe love there for you, okay? Here for me, even, okay? When I say that, trust that you are being protected, I feel, or trust in this security here, okay? Literally, there could be some real life security here, yeah. And no, look what I look over here, and know that people are hurting. That's why you feeling all this energy, baby. Okay, a lot of people are hurting, they're crying, they're depressed, they're in pain and sorrow, they're feeling rejected. Okay, and that is a projection. Those are just direct projections, because I know you've been through a lot, family, and others are going through things. But see, when people start projecting onto you and you're an empath, or you could just feel the energies, it's a trip. And some people, they be wanting to, they be wanting, they desire. Hurt people, sad people be wanting what's that saying? Misery be wanting company. You know what I'm saying? So there's sometimes people that they desire to project what they're going through onto you. Okay, so here it says self-pleasure, intense feelings. Ooh, something about sexual stuff going on. Okay, you could be having that, but I ain't really picking up that sexual energy. I'm just picking up, people possibly could have desired or wanted you to be the one hurt, wanted you to be the one sad, wanted you to be the one depressed. Okay, this is what I'm picking up. They wanted you to be hurt, sad, and depressed. And the whole time you were just like, damn, I say this all the time. What's wrong with getting along? What's wrong with that? Like, what's wrong with showing each other mutual respect and love and kindness? And I don't mean you don't have to be all, hi and all that extra stuff, but just respect, just some mutual kindness and respect without all the extra stuff involved. A lot of people got a lot of stuff involved because they come from broken backgrounds. They come from broken homes. And when I say broken, I don't mean shit. You could have a mom and a dad in a home. That don't mean that shit's straight. Okay, for real. You could have both parents in the home, but they could be going through things, and then it trickles down to the children, and then the children grow up with that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that energy right now that there's a lot of sadness in the air. There's a lot of depression in the air. There's a lot of disappointment in the air. I feel like some of this is coming because of people and the choices that they made. You know what I'm saying? I feel like some things, and I'm not saying that you're perfect, family, but I do feel that you really do speak your truth and you stay on point with it, though. Like, and the truth will hurt. The truth hurts. I mean, shit, I know I got flaws like a mofo, but I embrace them and I try to, do what I can to better myself. And I don't talking about look wise and all of that. I'm talking about, just sometimes my thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I be thinking like, dang, and I feel that it comes and this may not resonate with you, just depends on who you are, but I feel like it comes from just a long time of always being the scapegoat for everything and everybody. It didn't matter what you did. You just couldn't do nothing right. Facts, okay? Take that how that resonates, and that's been the energy. Okay, but somebody, okay, well, here it comes. I guess somebody is out here desiring you on that other tip as well, okay? This could have been somebody that was from your past looking back on you, okay? Player, third party, okay? Hooking up, possible, sexually transmitted demons or something, okay? There's somebody out here that could be dealing with that, okay? Only take it how it resonates. Sorry to keep moving it, y'all. I'm just trying to get everything in there. But, we going to do a over top. We going to do an overhead look, okay? But I feel like, there could be some, energies around that could be sitting back thinking about, they had a good thing when a good thing was there. Okay, could be an ex, some player that maybe it messed around or left somebody for a third party. I mean, don't take this the wrong way. This could be your energy. You could be thinking like, damn, I was better off with such and such. I mean, only take it how it resonates, right? But you could be feeling that way. Okay, tell me more. Yeah, look, I can't make it up. Somebody out here feeling guilty. There's a lot of hurt and guilt right now. This is crazy. Let me see. Yeah, hurt, crying, depressed, pain, sorrow. And I feel like, people feeling guilty. They're feeling this energy of this stress, this anxiety, possibly even ashamed, possibly even remorseful for whatever it was that they were putting you through. You know what I'm saying? This could have been people that were just, I keep getting that energy. These could have been people that, were sending people towards you to target you. Okay. Sometimes folks don't believe in them demons, but them demons be body hopping and jumping and shit. That's why I be looking at folks like, nah, I'm not about to be touching on any and everybody. I ain't lying. I'm good. Because, when it comes to this over here, this sexual energy over here, the physical contact, man, that root chakra, boy, let me tell you, that's the gateway right there. You know what I'm saying? That's the gateway right there. So when you are dealing with a lot of people that, and I don't want to say a lot, okay, I'm not trying to, say nothing bad about nobody or nothing, but I'm like, if you dibbling and dabbling with this one and that one and that one and this one and all this and that, man, them entities, them demons be body jumping. Okay, so I feel like a lot of people right now are in that energy. You could be possibly picking up on the energies where people know they did dirt and didn't have to. They didn't have to do dirt to you because you didn't really do shit to them. A lot of people don't like when someone stands up for themselves. Really and truthfully, that's looked down upon in many cultures. I didn't know that. Like, the more I'm starting to see some things, and I ain't really studying it, but I watch YouTube. That's probably the number one station, the number one channel I go to for all the information, right? And there be a lot of people out there that, in their culture, women don't really have a voice and stuff. So when you come out and you have a voice, they look at you as being arrogant or, I don't know why this word came to my mind, brash. If that's a word, brash. I just heard brash, or, disrespectful. But it isn't that, I feel like many people get the cultures mixed up, family. Let me tell you, many people get the cultures and the demographical areas, communities mixed up. See, ain't no shame in my game. I'm a Black American woman. Okay, so I was raised by strong Black American women. A lot of them were activists. A lot of them, were prominent people within their communities and stuff. They fought for, the rights and justice for a lot of people. And that just passes down, you know what I'm saying? For those of you who resonate, that's just my upbringing. It's not like, I would never try to just totally disrespect you and da-da-da-da. Now, hold up. I'm not going to lie either. Was I always that way? Hell no. When I was growing up, shit. Man, I used to give my boyfriends hell, especially if I caught them cheating and lying. It was a done data after I gave them a piece of my mind. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't, understand your culture, okay, for some of you. And I'm not just saying it's a Black American woman thing, but I do know that a lot of people resent strong women's voice when they speak up and when they speak about things. It's resented because in other cultures, a woman's supposed to keep her mouth shut and did this and did that and do this and do that. But see, this is a different place. And so, a lot of people look down on you when you have something to say. I don't do too much talking. Unless I'm on here, right now. Other than that, I spend my time pretty much in silence. You know what I mean? Unless I'm watching something on YouTube or, I tried to watch a little half part of Minecraft. But, that's what I'm talking about. A lot of people, family, they kind of resent, okay? They kind of resent the fact that you have a voice. They resent the fact that the words that you speak be the truth. Because they were raised, different than you. What does this say? I'm telling you, they was raised different than you. And because they were raised a little different than you, they give you the cold shoulder, or they want to distance themselves from you, or they feel like, what you're saying carries no weight or means nothing. But in actuality, it does. And a lot of the things that people say they need to realize is to really broaden your horizons. A lot of people, they're not willing to learn about you, but they want you to learn about them. That's one-sided. You know what I mean? A lot of people will speak non-facts about you, but want you to speak facts about them. That's crazy. You looking like, huh? You know what I mean? It's like, nah, there's a mutual, thing going on here. A lot of families are very, very close knit. Okay, and some aren't, and it has nothing to do with the family not loving one another. It has everything to do with how we were raised, and that came from our ancestors. A lot of our ancestors and stuff, and I'm not talking about like our grandmas. I'm talking about them great greats. I'm talking about the ones that grew up in the times where they could have a baby, and as soon as that baby came out, that baby was shipped off somewhere else. Feel me? See, a lot of people may think and look at you or feel that you don't care about something that's happening to them, but it's not that you don't care. It's that you like, damn. Whew. You know what I'm saying? Things happened even worse to your people, your ancestors, stuff like that, right? And that's where, as a community, you come together and you learn from one another. There are so many things that I admire about other cultures. And I'm just going to tell you, I admire their close-knit family energy. Their family, they gonna ride. I love that. You know what I'm saying? I grew up where it was just me and my cousin for years until my uncle started having children. We didn't have a really huge family, you know what I'm saying? And then my little brother, he was with his dad. My mom was going through some things, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, I love my brother. I take care of him, do for him and stuff like that when I could or when I had it or whatever the case may be. I pretty much have done pretty much everything I could for anybody in my family if they needed it. But at that same token, we weren't raised where we just had a whole huge house. Now down south in Virginia and Washington, D.C., oh man, family galore. And my Aunt Sal, man, I'm telling you, every morning it was amazing to me when we used to go to Aunt Sal's house for family reunions. Every single morning, I saw all my cousins because my Aunt Sal, I don't know what time Aunt Sal would get up, y'all. I only take it how it resonates. Quick intermission. My Aunt Sal would be up at it had to be 4 in the morning or something. You come downstairs, she had this big old long table. It sat about maybe about 10 to 12 people. I can't really recall, but it was one of those big long tables. And she would have the silver dishes with the tops on top. She would have pancakes, bacon, sausage, biscuits, eggs, over easy scrambled toast, and all of them, okay? A spread down the middle. And everybody came by Aunt Sal's house in the morning and grabbed breakfast on their way to work. I would see all my cousins in the morning. And I have a lot of them, okay? Then she did the same thing for lunch and she did the same thing for dinner. Okay. And, and I noticed that, depending on the region and stuff, they're more close knit in certain areas. And then there are other areas where, it wasn't like that. Right. But not to take away from the message, I feel like, right now, a lot of people are going through some things. Just put it like that. Yeah. They feel like they could be hitting rock bottom. Somebody may be feeling like they going to jail for some karma. They could be experiencing some sort of legal troubles here. Okay, they may be feeling like their life is falling apart. It could be just karma, family. Shit, karma be coming. And it's like, shit, I don't feel like you're somebody that has ever just been out there doing the most. But your truth could be karma for people. Especially but a lot of people don't want to see that, because you have to think, and I don't want to say this, but I just heard it. You can't teach old dogs new tricks, right? They have been raised a certain kind of way, and that's who they are, and they're just older now. So you're just never going to be able to change that energy's mind. Okay, but there's somebody here that they know that they're going through some karma behind something that they may have done to you. Okay, they could be hurting because of it or feeling guilty behind it. Because I feel like, you ain't never did nothing wrong to nobody. It was just people were listening to the propaganda. People were listening to, a lot of the lies. It doesn't help when, and I'm not talking about nobody, but growing up, you know what I'm saying, y'all? We had Tupac, Biggie Smalls, Little Kim, right? Little Kim was a badass woman before she got to doing all she done did now. She makes me think of Michael Jackson when I see her, because I'm like, damn, because that's how society does, right? They'll try to twist you all up in your head And then the next thing you know, you running around trying to bleach your shit and turn into something you're not. And that's just because, there's industries that don't want to accept you for who you are. And, I ain't one to be fake. I can't. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what am I going to be fake for? So that you could call me out on it when you catch me being something I'm not? That dog ain't going to hunt. You know what I mean, family? But there's a lot of energies out here. I feel like they know they were wrong. They didn't have any reason to come up against you. They just did it because they were, wanting to be in the in crowd, wanting to belong, may have even felt like, it was just something they had to do because it was just, something they had to do. But I feel like, they may be feeling this hurt and guilt now. Okay, take it how it resonates, especially if they feel like, they could be having some legal issues or going to jail. Yep. Somebody out here wants to come clean. They want to confess. They want to open up. They want to start being truthful. This is somebody coming with raw emotions. It could be a friend, family, or foe. Take it how you know. It could be masculine or feminine energy. But I feel like, sometimes people hold on to some stuff, family, you know what I'm saying? And it just eats them up. Sometimes people just hold on to things and it just eats away at them. And even though, they may not show you when they're with you, I'm seeing somebody that be crying by themselves, like hard, crying hard. You know what I'm saying? Like they feel really hurt and guilty behind something. On the honk, yeah. I don't know if y'all heard that, but on the honk, yeah. See, you have out here vibes in sync. I feel like for whoever this part of the message is going to resonate with, I feel like you have waited a very long time, okay? Now, I don't know if this person is going to be coming in the near future, but somebody here is your energy match, okay? Y'all are on the same page and y'all flow together, okay? And what I mean by that, family, is like, you ain't judgmental. You ain't biased. You ain't a bigot. Now, do you pop off sometimes? Hell yeah. But who doesn't? You know what I'm saying? Who don't? Especially when you're being done wrong. Do you just walk around and fly off the handle and get to tripping? No, you don't. You're not that kind of energy. But, I'm also picking up the energy. Some people can only take so much, family. Okay? Some people can only take so much. I'm picking up this energy right now where when you've just been like feeling like everybody's against you, just everybody. And I mean everybody. Your friends, your family, your foes, people you don't know, other cultures, when the weight of the world is on you and you get tired. And I don't mean like a tire where but I mean you can just feel that projection of always disapproval, always not good enough, just something about you type energy, right? When enough is enough. When you finally say, damn, I'm tired of this shit, right? But you know what I'm saying? You may find yourself in that energy where you like, shit. You tired. You tired of always being the scapegoat. You tired of always being somebody else's downfall. You tired of somebody always blaming you for things that they could have done better or should have done better. And everybody's always, it was your fault. Well, what did I do to you? I did everything I was supposed to do type energy, only take it how it resonates, right? But you got people wanting to blame you for circumstances and situations, but you looking like shit. Well, wait a minute. What did I really do? Besides just speak up for myself and be like, look, this is what's right. This be for your family, friends, and foes. Take it how you know. You know, it's like the moment you speak up about something, all hell breaks loose. Everybody's offended. You shouldn't have never. And it's like, damn. Well, if I was done, we'll put the shoe on the other foot. I tell people that all the time. I say, okay, so what if it was you? That's how you end it. That's how you end a whole damn argument or a whole damn debate or some sort of, disagreement. When because people get real opinionated when it ain't them. That's why at the bottom of the deck, reconciliation is here. Yeah, people get real opinionated, family, when it's not them. But then when the shoe is on their foot, it's like, oh, well, yeah. That's why they say what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you really ain't got nothing to say nice, then don't say nothing at all type energy, right? But then when you go through a situation and you share with, maybe loved ones, as it says, reconciliation, putting in the work, better communication, getting back together, and equal give and take type energy, right? When you get in this energy with other people, you will see how synchronized things are be, how harmonious things are. You know what I'm saying? But when you always got somebody trying to judge you for, something you done went through and all they could have did, and they would have, and you could have just let it go, and you could have just, and you looking like, well, shit, hold up. If I let that go, then the next time it'll be worse. It's just called setting up some boundaries. Like, you know what I'm saying? Respect. Because you are a respectful energy. You respect people. You don't go around trying to start shit and do nothing to nobody because you already know what it feels like because it's been done to you your whole damn life. From knee high to a grasshopper. It's been done to you your whole life. You've been looked at your whole life as not being this or not being that or da-da-da-da this or da-da-da-da that. You have been trying to self-correct so much your whole life for everybody else to where you just said you tired. You ain't self-correcting nothing else for nobody else. It's about you right now. That's self-love. Okay? Let's get a couple more and then we'll close out. I cannot make it up. Facts. That high value, that Empress energy, that self-worth. Yeah, you will not settle. You are beautiful inside and out. Somebody thinks you sexy too. Okay? But you're abundant and you're confident. That's what I was saying earlier. That's that for some, cultures, that is looked down on. But you've never been a disrespectful energy. You've never been somebody that has not spoken the truth. My father used to always say, yeah, the truth will get you hated. But then I had to change my whole mindset because I saw somebody in the community say, yeah, but the truth will also get you loved. I'm telling you, and I vibed so high with that because it's something about when somebody tells you the truth, they don't leave no room for doubt. There's no room for doubt when somebody tells you the truth. I promise you. It's like no matter how bad it is when they tell you the truth, it's a feeling of security there. I don't know if that even makes sense for some of y'all. But like when people tell the truth, no matter how bad it is or whatever it was, it almost like bonds. It bonds folks. Like I wonder if I'm saying the right way. I don't know. It's a sense of security for me. Because see, if I know somebody's willing to tell me the truth and they feel like it could have been something, I don't know why I get that much more respect for them. It's like, I automatically be like, yep, that's somebody I can mess with. You know what I'm saying? Because they told me the truth. Versus, lying and gaslighting and all that weird shit. I'm like, oh my God, because then you don't know who you can trust. Right? And then if I can't trust you, I'm really not going to be around you. And those are just the facts. I'm not. And that go for man, woman, child, friends, family, foes. Now, I won't be around you because, I give my all and you can trust me and I don't give a damn what nobody say. You can leave $1 billion sitting right there. I'll never forget it. Let me tell you. And then we going to close out. I went, my homeboy, and it wasn't, I was trying to start my little cleaning business, right? It's called Spick and Span Janitorial. And I was doing this, I think I was like 23, 24. So I was trying to build me a clientele base. He was my first customer, right? So we knock on the door. Nobody comes to the door. I have my homegirl with me, Lynette. And I'm like, come on, Lynette, come help me clean the house. Because these were some bachelors now. I was like 3 of them living together. Girl, sir, ma'am, family, okay? Whew, party animals, and didn't pick up shit, okay? Just drop whatever where it was. And I used to be like, somebody need to come clean your house. So he was like, okay, you start your little cleaning business, come do it. Long story short, y'all, we knock on the door. Don't nobody answer. So I'm like, they knew we was coming. I was like, this is jacked up, right? Because I'm like, I need this money. I'm trying to do a little cleaning business, right? So Lynette turns the knob. She like, ooh, the door's open. I said, it's open. She was like, yeah. I said, okay, cool. So I was like, hey, anybody in here? You know, because you want to be safe walking up in folks' houses and stuff, right? So we didn't hear nothing. So boom, we started cleaning. I'm like, girl, look at this. We picking up, shirts off the floor, moving stuff around. And Lynette go over and pick up a domino box that was sitting on the table. They had like a box, the dominoes sitting on the table, and money, like it was folded, and the money fluttered up. I must have looked at Lynette. I said, shit. We put that domino box right back down on that table. And I didn't even finish cleaning. I ain't gonna lie, family. That was a half-ass job, wasn't it? I didn't even finish cleaning because I felt set up. I did. I felt like, oh my God. What they think we was gonna do? Come in here and steal? I like when I said I started me a cleaning business. I meant that. I started a cleaning business, and I was going. I think we was only charging like $150. I was gonna split it with my homegirl. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, shit. We started a cleaning business. So we left and everything. And he called. He was like, well, what happened? I said, well, you left some money on the table, and that scared me. So we did, cause you ain't gonna say something came up missing. Oh no, you not. Oh no, you not. Okay. And some of y'all might be feeling that kind of energy again. Like you just want to be in this energy where you're getting those real connections. Okay. And the connections that you're getting, they're real. They ain't fake. You ain't got to worry about nobody. They ain't got to worry about you. You be moving into energies of real connections. Some of y'all, these energies could be real connections that bring in affection that you have so longed for and possibly even needed. This is some energy where the sparks could be flying. And that's what I'm talking about. It's good when energy's like that. You don't got to worry about it. And do you know that kind of energy, family, keeps down the arguments? It keeps down, like, when people get to arguing and stuff, ooh, that disrupts the energy field for real. And it really does. It kind of like, I don't like to be arguing. Okay? I don't be liking that, but here's the recap, family. I feel like, possibly there's some good stuff coming in for you in 2026. Okay. There are some people that could be carrying some, guilt into 2026. They could be afraid about whatever they have done, or feeling like karma could come back on them. But as far as the feeling and the energy that I have right now, family, you are definitely, held in high value. If you don't hold yourself in high value, please start doing it, because you are a good person. Straight up. Okay, family. Masculine or feminine energy, take it how it resonates. Okay. But yeah, you are a good person. Okay. And some people, that might be why they are feeling guilty right now, because they know you a good person. They know you ain't never crossed them or did nothing wrong to them. But they got some things they got to work on, and you ain't here to judge them. But you do have your boundaries together. Okay, so I'm going to leave that message here. Thank y'all for tapping in. I love you, and the divine loves you. Okay, and until next time, y'all have a magnificent day, and happy New Year's Eve if you celebrate it. And if you don't, still have a magnificent day. Ashe.